In today's video, we'll be revisiting this PC build we did a few videos ago. This PC build was an i5 4670K. Now, as you guys know, those 4th gen i5s, they're only 4 core, 4 thread, and today we're upgrading it. So we're going with the Intel Xeon E3 1230 V3, and if I got that right, it'll be a miracle. And I actually got it right first time. I don't know how, guys, but anyway, we're having a good day today. So let's go. We've got a new haircut. Yeah, things are going good. So 4 core 8 threads, guys. Let's see what it can do, basically. So what I'm going to do is install the CPU now off camera. We'll do some benchmarks, gaming benchmarks, obviously, through the 4 games that we actually did when we did the original i5 4670K build. This was with the CIT level 1 on a H81 motherboard, 16 gigabytes of RAM with the GTX 1070. So hopefully our GTX 1070 will be getting a little bit more performance now that we've got 4 cores with those 8 threads rather than 4 cores with the 4 threads. So let's do that now. Let's install that, and then we'll come back with those gaming benchmarks to see how much this CPU actually improved this little system. So starting off with Fortnite 1080p low, we had an average of 108, a minimum of 58, and a maximum of 158. That was with the Xeon. And the i5 only achieved an average of 95, a minimum of 21, a maximum of 175. So as you can see there, a fairly good rise, although not that significant. It's mainly what you're going to see here is mainly the minimums are higher. So you don't get quite those very up and down sort of things like you get with the i5. Because we've got more, like an equivalent of an i7 basically, with the 4 cores and 8 threads. Although it's a cheaper one, which is a Xeon. It's not quite as good as the i7, but it's not bad. But basically, you'll see minimums a little bit higher now because it'll be a little bit more consistent. And I must say, when I was browsing the, using the computer daily and what have you, using the computer just throughout the testing that I had, it was just a little bit more responsive, and you could tell that. And then the 1080p medium results for Fortnite was an average of 73, a minimum of 48, and a maximum of 90. So that was a little improvement over the average of 64. And I'll put all the numbers below so if you can see them all, but I'm not going to say all of them from the i5 because it's just going to take too long. But anyway, so yeah, a little bit of an improvement there. Again, the minimums are a little bit higher, aren't they? That's the big thing. And I think that's the kind of takeaway that you're going to get from this video. You're going to have better, more even gaming performance with a little bit of a better CPU and with that hyperthreading that we have now. So GTA 5 1080p low was an average of 104, a minimum of 67, and a maximum of 139. So again, quite a good uplift from our 62 average. Which was with the i5. So although I think that might have been a little bit low even for the i5, but yeah, again, quite a big uplift there that we've had. So for what is, I think it was only about £18 I spent on this processor. We've had a nice little uplift. 1080p medium on GTA 5 was an average of 88, a minimum of 57, and a maximum of 113. So again, a little bit better on the averages, but the minimum is kind of like sorting itself out a little bit better. And then we'll move on to Shadow of the Tomb Raider 1080p low, an average of 125, a minimum of 90, and a maximum of 210. So this is a little bit, technically it's actually a little bit worse than the i5, which is a little bit odd, because that was 137 average rather than 125 average. But again, these games are going to vary a little bit. The i5 maybe is a little bit better in terms of actual, because it's a little bit more, it's a little bit more geared towards an actual gaming CPU rather than the Xeon's more like a workstation CPU. So it's not quite so It's not quite so optimized as if you had like an i7. A genuine i7 would be a better performer, but then obviously you have to pay a little bit more money for that. The kind of i7 that you probably want in is the i7 4790, or even potentially the 4790K, if you could even go up to that. But again, the 4790K is probably about 50 quid, and I'm not paying that sort of money for such an old processor. So even the 4790, I think, is about 30 or 35. So quite a significant uplift from around about the £18, £20 that we've paid for this processor. So, really, you are getting a lot of value with the Xeon. 1080p median results for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, an average of 97, a minimum of 70, and a maximum of 160, which weirdly is actually a little bit different. It's a little bit worse actually than the i5, but it's kind of swings and roundabouts a little bit. Overall it's performing a little bit better in most games, and I think Cyberpunk will see the big difference now. So our last game, Cyberpunk 2077, 1080p low, an average of 72, a minimum of 56, and a maximum of 91. Now looking at our i5 results, we had an average of 64, so that is picked up a bit, and the minimum has also picked up a bit as well, 56 over the 46. So we've had a little uplift there, which is nice. Just gonna make things a bit more smoother. Basically, your gameplay, you're not gonna notice it that much, but just gonna be a little bit more smoother overall, just with the Xeon over that i5. The 1080p median results in Cyberpunk 2077 were an average of 68, a minimum of 53, and a maximum of 83. So pretty decent, seeing as we've only got a 1070 here, and we're actually getting over 60 frames per second average, even at 1080p medium. So that's pretty decent. And although technically at 1080p medium on the i5 we did get 62 average, it's a bit more choppy. Like that minimum at 45 on the i5 is quite bad, where minimum of 53 just helps out that little bit. And this is pretty much the same system, it's just the CPU that I've changed, literally just the CPU. It's the same RAM, same motherboard, same power supply, SSD, and obviously same graphics card. And pretty much, really for an £18 upgrade, I think we've actually done pretty well actually. So yeah, I think hopefully you like that video of that revisit that we had, that I was talking about, that we're going to do for that Xeon. Again, I think it's a decent option if you can get it. Maybe not for everyone. I think some people are going to go right up to the i7, and you will get better performance with the i7 because that's more of a targeted gaming CPU almost, where, like I say, the Xeon's more of a workstation CPU, so it's not sort of optimized for gaming really, but you can obviously do it, and you can get away with it. But we have got a bit more of an uprise, a little bit more consistency generally in the gaming performance using the Xeon over that i5. So those 4 cores with those 8 threads, those extra little 4 threads, are actually giving us a little bit of a boost here overall over the 4-core 4-thread i5. So yeah, overall I think you guys obviously knew that going up to a Xeon from an i5 was going to be an improvement anyway, but I think it's just interesting to see these sort of results and see what's actually possible, isn't it? So I hope you like that video, guys. Please comment on what you think of this sort of comparison, and what you're thinking of my videos generally and what have you. And would you actually go with a Xeon? Like, even if you were going to go very low tech like this, or very low budget like this, would you actually go with the Xeon? I think I'll certainly keep it in when I sell the PC, and we will go with the Xeon over the i5. I do think generally it's just helping out those minimums and averages a little bit better. So yeah, we'll go with it. And please subscribe to see our future videos, and please like the video for that YouTube algorithm. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.